Today we delve into the unbelievable true story of a spy princess whose courage, beauty, and cleverness brought Nazi regime to its knees. We post new stories every Tuesday and Friday, so stay tuned. In the grim confines of the Gestapo headquarters, a day began like any other. Yet for one woman held within these walls, it was a day filled with silent resolve and concealed courage. She awoke in a sparse, cold cell, the first rays of dawn barely penetrating the small, barred window. The distant sounds of marching boots and muffled orders already filled the air, a constant reminder of the oppressive regime outside. Her morning routine was marked by quiet contemplation. She sat on the edge of her narrow cot, her thoughts turning to her mission, her family, and the world beyond these walls. Despite the fear and uncertainty that hung over her, she maintained a serene composure, a testament to her inner strength and resilience. As the hours ticked by, she was led through the sterile, echoing corridors of the headquarters to an interrogation room. Her steps were measured, her posture upright, exuding a dignity that the stark surroundings couldn't diminish. Inside the interrogation room, she faced her captors with a calm defiance, her spirit unbroken by their intimidating presence. Her captors, growing increasingly frustrated by her composed demeanor, failed to see the steel beneath her gentle exterior. And as the day wore on, the woman in the interrogation room continued to hold fast to her secrets, her resolve an unspoken challenge to her oppressors. In the austere interrogation room, the woman's mind momentarily drifted away from the cold gaze of her captors, journeying back to the life she once knew before the Gestapo's grasp. Memories flooded in, each a vivid contrast to her current reality. She remembered her childhood, imbued with a blend of Eastern mysticism and Western ideals, thanks to her Indian father and American mother. Her father, a Sufi musician and teacher, had instilled in her a deep sense of spiritual awareness and a love for music and poetry. Her mother, a figure of grace and resilience, had imparted to her the values of courage and compassion. The woman recalled her days in France, where she grew up in a household filled with intellectual discourse and artistic expression. Her life there had been serene, almost idyllic, with days spent writing and playing music. The onset of war had shattered that tranquility, thrusting her and her family into a world turned upside down. She remembered the painful decision to leave France for England, the heart-wrenching sight of her beloved country falling under the shadow of Nazi occupation. In England, despite her deep-seated beliefs in non-violence, she felt a compelling duty to stand against the tyranny and injustice unfolding across Europe. As these memories played in her mind, they were abruptly interrupted by the harsh voice of an interrogator. Snapped back to the grim present, she steeled herself once more, drawing on the strength of her past to face the uncertainty of her future. In the cold, uninviting confines of the Gestapo headquarters, Noor Inayat Khan, known as Nora Baker during her espionage activities, reflected on the life that had led her to this dire moment. Her father, a musician and a Sufi teacher, was a direct descendant of Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore. Noor's mother, originally Aura Ray Baker, had embraced Sufism on marrying Noor's father, adopting the name Pirani Amina Begum. The family had moved from Moscow to London just before World War I and then settled near Paris, where Noor spent most of her formative years. Noor's talents were diverse. She studied child psychology at the Sorbonne and music at the Paris Conservatory. She was also a published children's author, with her book 20 Jataka Tales, reflecting her rich cultural background. She was a trained musician, having studied at the Paris Conservatory, where she learned to play the harp and piano. She was also a published writer, contributing regularly to children's magazines and French radio. Her life was a blend of art, intellect, and courage. As World War II erupted, Noor's life took a dramatic turn. Tragedy struck early in Noor's life when her father passed away. After her father's death, Noor took on the responsibility of supporting her family at the tender age of 13. Her family relocated to England, and despite her pacifist upbringing, Noor felt a strong need to contribute to the war effort. Joining the Women's Auxiliary Air Force, she trained as a wireless operator. Later, she joined the SOE, where her skills and fluency in French made her an invaluable asset. Despite doubts about her suitability for espionage due to her gentle nature and lack of athleticism, Noor's commitment never wavered. She underwent rigorous training, including a mock Gestapo interrogation, preparing her for the dangerous mission ahead. Her brother's pleas and her own inner conflicts did not deter her. She was determined to play her part in the fight against fascism. Deployed to France under the codename Madeleine, Noor quickly became the linchpin of wireless communications in Paris. Noor's mission was an especially dangerous one. Her job was to maintain a link between the circuit in the field and London, sending and receiving messages about planned sabotage operations or about where arms were needed for resistance fighters. Without such communication, it was almost impossible for any resistance strategy to be coordinated. But the operators were highly vulnerable to detection, which was improving as the war progressed. The risks were immense, and as the Gestapo closed in on the resistance networks, Noor had to constantly change her appearance and location to avoid capture. In the shadowed streets of Nazi-occupied France, Noor Inayat Khan's days were filled with danger and daring escapes. One day, after lunch, she noticed Gestapo agents tailing her. With quick thinking and agility, she eluded them, leading them to a false address. This close encounter prompted her to change her appearance. She dyed her hair red, donned black glasses, and assumed a new identity. Despite these precautions, her cover was nearly blown again when a shopkeeper recognized her in the presence of a German soldier. As she entered a small shop, a moment of recognition flashed across the shopkeeper's face. He had seen her before, in a different guise. Her heart raced as she realized the danger. A German soldier stood just outside, a mere witness to their exchange, yet a symbol of the ever-looming threat. The shopkeeper's eyes, flickering with suspicion, met hers. In that split second, Noor understood the gravity of the situation. Her training, her mission, and her very life hung in the balance. With the composure of a seasoned spy, she maintained her facade, engaging in mundane conversation to allay any doubts. Her voice was steady, her demeanor calm, yet her mind worked cunningly to devise an escape. As she made her purchase, she carefully crafted her words, weaving a convincing story that contradicted her true identity. She casually mentioned landmarks and events of the local area, presenting herself as just another resident affected by the war's hardships. The shopkeeper, still uncertain, was momentarily placated by her convincing performance. Exiting the shop with a sense of urgency masked by outward calm, Noor quickly blended into the crowd. This close call served as a stark reminder of the risks Noor faced daily. It was a testament to her resourcefulness and adaptability, qualities that made her an invaluable asset to the resistance, but also placed her in constant peril. Word of these narrow escapes reached British officials, who urged her to leave France for her safety. But Noor, ever committed to her mission, refused to abandon her post, requesting another chance to continue her work. Tragically, her mission was compromised by Rennie, the sister of her network associate, Henri Gary. Rennie, lured by a sum of 100,000 francs, betrayed both her brother and Inayat Khan to the Gestapo. On 13th of October 1943, Inayat Khan's luck finally ran out. She was captured by the Gestapo and a French officer loyal to Nazi Germany. She was taken to police headquarters, where she endured relentless torture and interrogation. Despite the intense pressure, she remained steadfast, refusing to divulge any information about her mission or fellow agents. During one interrogation, a frustrated chief officer demanded to know why she remained so obstinate, given the Nazis' control over French networks and information from London. Inayat Khan's reply was a testament to her unyielding spirit. "I got one chance to serve my nation, and I don't want to end this journey sinfully." Following this, she was transferred to Karlsruhe, where she was held as a war prisoner for nearly 2 years. As World War II entered its final stages and Allied forces advanced across Europe, a desperate and embarrassed Nazi regime ordered the mass execution of war prisoners. In 1958, An anonymous Dutch prisoner asserted that Noor was cruelly beaten by an SS officer named Wilhelm Ruppert, who asked her to beg for mercy. Noor bravely stood up, stared dead into the officer's eyes, and said her last words, "Liberté." She was shot to death after this exchange. Noor Inayat Khan, along with 3 other British women, was executed in Dachau concentration camp. Noor Inayat Khan's story is not just one of espionage and resistance. It is a narrative of immense bravery, resilience, and dedication to a cause greater than oneself. Her legacy, and that of countless other women who fought and fell during World War II, remains an enduring symbol of courage and competence in the face of overwhelming adversity. Her mission, however, came to an abrupt end when she was betrayed and captured. Despite repeated torture and solitary confinement, Noor remained steadfast, revealing nothing to her captors. Her bravery in the face of such adversity was remarkable. Ultimately, Noor Inayat Khan's life was tragically cut short at Dachau concentration camp. Her legacy, however, lives on. Posthumously awarded the Croix de Guerre and the George Cross, Noor is remembered as a symbol of bravery, sacrifice, and the indomitable human spirit. A blue plaque in Bloomsbury, London, honours her memory, serving as a reminder of her extraordinary courage and the heavy price she paid in the struggle against tyranny. Thank you for watching this video. For more content like this, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. Stay safe, and until the next time.